Graphing a direct variation equation is pretty straightforward. In order to graph any line, all we need is 2 points. And because we know a direct variation equation always goes through the point 0, 0, we've got 1 point right off the bat just knowing that it's a direct variation equation. So how do we get a second point? Well, we can take that constant of variation, which is -6, and let's write it as a ratio. So how do we take a whole number, or sorry, an integer like -6 and write it as a ratio? Well, that's really easy. Just put it over 1. So the reason that we do this is because when we have a constant of variation or a slope written as a ratio, you may know this already, this is the rise over run of this line. So a rise of -6 and a run of 1 means from this point that we have right here, we can count down 6 units and over 1 unit. That's the rise, and that's the run. And that's where we're going to put our second point, right there. And so now that we have our 2 points, we just connect the dots like so. We can either go all the way across the graph with this line, or we can just go part way across the graph and put arrows, or we can be a real overachiever and do both. All the way across the graph and put arrows. And there we go. There's our graph of a direct variation equation.